So let's go back to the Excel. Sharing this. So like I was saying before, um, I was saying that the what's it called, the grid line explains to a large extent um, so like I was saying, the view line basically under the grid lines, you use this to remove. So most times when you see or when you look at some Excel documents, you get to see that the what's it called? The lines are removed. So this is actually what they did. All you just need to do is to go to the view section and then you use this to remove that. Also, now on the developer section, this is more like this section allows you to put in some tools. I don't know if you all have followed me, some of you that have been with me, you'd see that some of you that have been with me, you would see that during during the some of the videos I've been sharing of my tracker, you would see some aspects where you have to use some buttons as if like making it look like something. Sorry, hold on. Making it.
Because I don't have developer.
Can you?
Does it matter? If you don't have developer, does it matter? I don't have developer in mind.
Okay, I'll also show you how to do that. You don't have that because you are not yours is not saved as a macro enabled Excel sheet. So you basically
As a macro.
yes, a macro enabled Excel sheet. So if you save your Excel document, you will see that. You will see that. You will see that.
If I go to documents, right?
Yeah. So now let's go on. We don't have time. So now I'm going to explain some of these things. I'm going to explain to you what naming of cells and ranges and what they are. Because basically we are going to be using cells. You need to understand basically how cells work. Because this next phase we are going to explains everything that you need to learn or to know about working on Excel. So the first thing first is that what is a cell? What's a cell? What's a cell? What's a cell? Basically, a cell is like an intersection or the intersection of a row and a column. Basically, we know what rows are. This is row A, this is row B, this is row C, D, E, F, G. So these are rows. What you have here. Sorry, row one, not listen, these are rows like row 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These are rows. And then when you talk about the columns, you have column A, B, C, D, E, F, and all of that. So the intersection of these two gives you a cell, gives you a cell, gives you a cell. The intersection of these two gives you a cell. The intersection of these two gives you a cell. So let's go on. Now, let me give you an example. You can all see, can you all see where my my cursor is? I don't know if you all can see this. Can you see my screen clearly? Can I just?
Yes, yes, yes. I
Okay,
can.
perfect. So basically, what you see here is cell B2. I'm talking about how to name cells. What you see here, let's say I write, let's say something like 500. I need to write on this. 500. Now, 500 is situated on cell B2. If I have, let's say, something like 1000 here, 1000 is situated, is actually, you can find 1000 on cell D4. So basically, what I'm trying to do now is to explain to you how to name cells. So, like I told you, a cell is basically an intersection of a row and what? A column. And what we have here explains all of this. I've given you an example of a cell by explaining to you or explaining what B2 is, like how B2 is a cell, because B2 can be found on, 500 can be found on cell B2, that is on row 2 and column B. So that's why we have B2. 1000 can be found on what? Can someone help me? On row what?
Row 4.
Okay, and column.
Cell D4.
So that's why we have D4. Now, having known this, I also need to explain to you what range are. Now, ranges are group of cells. Group of cells. Ranges are group of cells. Group of cells. That's what we call a range. Now, let me give you an example, a working example of what I mean. If you have something like this, from cell C5 to E10 is a range, can be called a range. It could be called range 1. It could be called range 1. So from cell C5 to about this could be called what? Range 1. I don't know if you understand me. Now, I could also do the same thing here. Also, we could have something like this. So basically, what a range does, a range looks at a group of cells. Remember, I've explained to you what cells are and how to name cells. Now, range basically looks at you having so many cells. Let's say you have 500, you have 600, you have 800, you have 600, you have 800, you have 900, you have 1000, you have 2000, you have 500, you have 800. Now, when you decide to, let's say, name, okay, we have more people entering. Now, when you decide to name all of these together, like a group of cells, when you decide to name them together, it gives you a range. It gives you a range. It gives you a range, and all of that. So, what we'll be doing now basically will be about how to use some of the simple Excel formulas. How to use some of the simple Excel formulas. But before that, I would like to entertain any question on what we've explained now, just on understanding the Excel tabs and then just about how to name cells and ranges. Though we haven't done anything yet. We are just in the beginning, in the the introduction of the course. So we haven't done anything yet. We are still trying to understand some of these things because they'll be used when we start the data analysis proper. But then I would like to entertain questions. Do you have any question? You could ask that. On what we've done so far. On what we've done so far. So, do you have questions?
I don't have any question for now. I would just like us to continue.
No question. Let's proceed.
Okay. All right, so let's go on. Now we'll be looking at how to extract or transform an Excel data. Now, for the sake of this class, I wouldn't want to start going out to get data. I would like us to form our own data. Now, let's assume that you are working, or let's say you, you are working on the data, let's say a sales report. So now we are starting, now we are working on this is now where the class begins. You're working on, let's say, a sales report for ABC Limited. Now, watch what I'm going to do. I want you to look at my screen. Now, this is going to be the heading, sales report for ABC Limited. Now, looking at this stuff, you'd see that this doesn't really look so because some of us are not very, very good with Excel. So this doesn't actually look so good. I don't know if you all notice it, because let's say if I'm to move from cell B2 to cell C2 to cell D2, you'd understand that they look somehow. I mean, they are not as clear as they should be. They're not as clear as they should be. And that is why we have this class. Now, one thing I might possibly do, so I'm trying to, one thing I would possibly do, take care of this. What I would possibly do to take care of this is to highlight on these things. I could highlight, let's say, from year to year, and then match cells together. But this is our group of cells. Remember, how many cells do we have here forming sales report for ABC? I've got 3 cells. Cell B2, C2, and D2. Now, I could decide to match the cells so that it looks more organized. But it looks like okay, it looks like I have to mute everybody. I have to mute everybody. So, all right. So what I'm going to do here is to match all cells together, all cells together, all cells together. Now, in this case, all I need to do is to come in here. Come in here, and then I could decide to highlight this and then come to here. On your home screen, you see a place where we have match and center. I don't know if you're with your laptop, you can just go through your laptop so as to understand this. I would like you to be doing these things as I'm doing them. It's very important, because although some of you that paid for these things would get the video, those that made payments for this would surely get the videos. But how about those that are scholarship, or those that have scholarship and all of that? You need to understand this, and that's why it's very important that you are here with your laptop. It's very, very important, very important. So all you need to do is to come in here and match and the cells into center. So you come here and then you click on this. Now, if you notice this, you will notice that from point year to year, this looks more like a matched cell, and this looks better compared to what we had before. If you were to what's it called, to keep it the way it was before. You see, unlike what you have here. So in a case like this, what you basically need to do is to come in here, at this, when you write a head topic, when you write the heading of anything, the first thing you need to do is to match the cells. But then before you do that, you might want to know the length of the cell. It's very important. So remember at first, what I did here was to match the cell. But the first thing you might need to do before you match the cell is to know the length of the cell. It's very important that you do that. Now, what do I mean by the length of the cell? What determines the length of the cell? What determines the length of the cell basically has to do with the particulars involved. Let's say you decide to make a sales report. Surely a sales report will surely have the date of the sales, when the sales was actually made. Surely have, let's say, the name of the customer. You have, let's say, what else again? Possibly the amount. Let's just have these things done, so I don't have to talk. You have the date. You have, let's say, the name of customers, name of customer. It could have. Now, if you notice this, I'm making sure that you are all looking at my screen. If you notice this, you see that the name of the customer, basically the date here appears so nice. But in this case, the name of the customer looks bigger. Now, in this case, what you need to do is to make sure that the name of the customer appears sizable. From what you are seeing here, it looks as if this name of customer is on cell C3 and cell D3. If you can look, if you look at my screen, you will see this. that this looks like as if it is on cell C3 and D3. So what you need to do, I'm trying to zoom this. What you need to do is to come in here and enlarge the column. So you could enlarge it to this, and then it contains this. Perfect. So same way I could decide to reduce this or increase it or whatever. So the same thing you would do for others too. So let's say we have name of customer. Let's say what else again should we put? Let's say quantity bought, quantity of goods bought, quantity sold. So we could do this too here. Remember, let's say let's say okay, let's use quantity. So let's say unit price, total price. Also, we could decide to have our dates written in month. So let's also have something here. So I want months to come before dates. I want us to, after putting in the date, let's say the date, I would also like us to have to put in the months and all of that for, let's say, maybe for other things that we might need. So all you need to do is to come in here and right click, and then you see insert, and then this shifts. So you can come here and put in months, or let's just use months. Now, in this case, remember I first of all spoke to you about the heading, and I remember saying that what determines the heading is basically the particulars, what you are going to do. So now, let's say I'm going to stop at this place. I'm just giving you an example. Now, what this place, you see that this does not actually look professional. And when people employ you, they want professional results. They don't want to get results that are not actually going to. I mean, you can't give someone like, let's say an employer something like this. So you need to actually understand how to actually edit formats and use and play around themselves. Now, since we know that this is likely going to be the size of what we're going to do, all you need to start. You need to start your, what's it called? Your stuff. You need to like start alighting from from column G, because it is stopping at here. And then when you do this, you alight to this part, and then you can now go and mash and center it. So when you do this, you click on this. Now you can see that this is on the center. I mean, and you could also decide to make this. So I don't know. Let me just ask for questions so that we can. I think I would like you to ask questions if you need to on what we've done now.
Jesus Christ.
So ask your questions. Some of our background looks troubling.
There's no question for me, Sha. I'm getting understanding.
Okay.
Well, there's no need of me ask a question because I just came in, so I came in. There's no need of me ask a question.
Okay.
But I pray I catch up.
Okay. So do we have anyone that would like to ask questions?
I would like. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Go on.
Can you hear
Go on. Yes, go on.
me?
Go on. I can hear you. Go on.
My phone says.
Can you hear me, please?
I can hear you.
Yes.
Go on.
Okay.
We can hear you.
Please, I would like to. I'm facing network epileptic. Please, I'd like to have the recorded version of what you just taught, please.
Yes, sure. You paid for this, so you have access to the video recordings after of it, so you can go back and study it. You would have access to it. You would have access to it.
Thank you very much.
So okay, so let us go back. So we can continue. So I'm going to meet everybody back. I'm meeting everyone.
Yeah, wow. Talk your background.
I don't know why I can't actually meet everybody again. Oh. I can't meet everybody again.
So you have to
What
do
that mean?
individual. You have
I can't meet everybody again. What could be the reason?
Just give me like 10 minutes to finish.
Should you do it individually?
If possible, please do. I'm currently hearing something.
We should then do it individually now.
Okay, so yes, do it individually, please.
Okay.
Oh, so now the next thing we need to do now is to fill in these things. Fill in these things. Now, let's say, okay, let me make something clear. I'm trying to develop a report for you. Let me decide to have something like, let's have something like this. Let's have a new, and I'm going to merge here. Just the same thing I did. The same thing I did before. I'm trying
Okay,
to have,
start cell.
yes, I just added a cell. Now I'm trying to have a date because this is like going to be like a sales report, something for ABC Limited. Now, what I'm trying to do is to have a date so that every day you don't really have to, let's say, most times people have issues getting dates. Okay, somebody comes in today to buy a date. So to buy, let's say something, and then you start to check, oh, what is today's date? If I'm what is today's date? Oh, 14th, and all of that. Now, what I'm trying to do is to build a model whereby you don't even have to be asking for dates. Each day, the date comes in. So to get this, all you need to do is to put in equals to today. And then it's done for you. Now this shows you the date. So by tomorrow, this would remain, this would update. Like you don't have to actually come in here. That is that simple. By tomorrow it will be 15th. By next tomorrow it will be 16th. Don't worry, we are going to use the same report for tomorrow. And then when we come back tomorrow, you would see that it has changed even without touching it. So you could also decide to increase the dates. It is in a short form. You could decide to come in here and try to increase the date to a long date. You could have something like this. So let me just make this look finer or look good. So I'm trying to make this look a little bit different. This look a little bit different. So now what I've just done here, so this is more like a calendar. This will look like a calendar that allows you don't really have to always go to your calendar to know what the date is. So let's say someone comes to the market today to buy from you, you just have to come here 14th, let's say 14th May 20. Okay, so whenever you have something like this, it shows that this cell is too small. So all you just need to do is to come in here and increase it. Then you come in here and you put in the month. So let's say this is May. I mean, this is not even relevant. This column, but I'm just doing that for something. This is not relevant. Should I just use this? Okay, let's just use May. Now, let's say I'm going to use one of my friends, very good friend. I'm going to use Shika's name. Do we have, is Shika still on this call? So let's say the name of customer, Shika also comes in to buy, let's say 20 some, let's say 20, let's say ABC Limited. Let's say they sell, let's say they're into, let's say they're into, I don't know, let's say books, or let's say they sell, let's say cartons of Indomie. So Chika comes in to buy, let's say 20 cartons, and then the price of one is, let's say 1,000 naira. So all you need to do is to come in here and impute your total price. So basically the total price would be the unit price times the quantity sold. So basically you can just come in here. You don't really need to multiply yourself. You can decide to come in here. But one thing about Excel is that for everything you do on Excel, you need to basically use the equal sign. If you're going to make any calculation, any formula, you start with equal sign. If notice, I started this. This is like a formula. I didn't type this date. You can look at this. If you can see my screen, you will see this. If you can, I didn't type any formula. All I did was equals to today bracket close, and then you have the dates. So everything you do on Excel, you must start with the equal sign if you're going to make any calculation, except you're just inputting stuff. So if I decide to do any calculation, all I just need to do is come here equals to, let's say, this times this, and then the calculation is done for me. Now, there's something I really want you to understand. There's something I would like you to understand. Something. Now, what is this? This stuff here, the unit price and total price, they are supposed to come in as price. Now, this is most of you might think that this is okay this way, but most employers, they would really be very angry, very sad when you give them something like this. They expect you, if you are going to express a column in price in something, you need to make it look like naira. There's no comma yet. So most times you might feel that this is okay. Yes, it's okay. You have 1,000, but this does not actually look like 1,000. 1,000 is 1,000. 20,000 is 20, comma. So you need to do this, and then to do this stuff, you need to come here and format the cells, format the column, and then to do this, we want to format this unit price and total price so that everything I put in here, it will look like naira, it will look like money, because because there's no difference between quantity sold and unit price. But then there should be a difference, because this is basically the quantity sold, but this unit price and total price, these things are in naira or dollar or whatever currency you choose to use it for. But then this should not appear the same way. So what you need to do is to come in here. Now, I could decide to just do this for this only, but the implication that if I just make this appear in money form, it might really affect other ones. Let's say other transactions. So the only thing I might need to do is to come here and click on this, double click, remember, so that I don't need to be highlighting each of the cells. All I need to do basically is to come in, is to just keep on inputting the cells, and it works. It keep on working. So that is just the way it works. That is the way it works. So now watch what I'm going to do. I'm going to come in here to the general part, and then I'm going to choose accounting, and then this comes up here. Now I could decide to use naira or dollar, whatever. I could even decide not to use any currency. So if, let's say, I decide to use, let's say, dollar, all you need to do is come in here where you have this sign, number, and you could decide to use dollar. You decide to use English pounds, or even nothing. If you decide to use nothing, you could just come here, more accounting formats, and go to the symbol and click on none. So you have so many of them here, so many stuff you could represent your stuff into. So you just come here and click on none. And okay, so we are going to leave very soon. And then this is done. So since it appears here, you can decide to have the next dates. If let's say I want the next date, all I just need to drag this here. So I'm going to just drag this down, meaning that we made transaction in other days. I could decide to change it to May, June, and the rest. But then I would like us to get this done before our time runs out. So let's say same May. Let's say someone. Let's say Michael Later bought 10 pieces at 5,000 naira. Now in this case, what I might just need to do here is for me to get this thing done, I might not really need to keep on multiplying. All I just need to do is basically to drag this down. So not to drag this down, basically. Right. I could decide to first of all multiply this first, so we don't have to make any mistake. Multiply this first, and all of that. And now let's say on a later date, let's say on 20th of June. So this is going to be June. let's say someone else, let's say Ngozi, Abayomi, let's say bought something else. We're just going to use this. Now in this case, what I may need to do is just come in here and then possibly drag this. Now you see, I don't really need to come to always come in here to type again. All I just need to do is come in here, put in the date, let's say on the 17th of July. Remember, your report can be bigger than this. I'm only using what's it called? Just this because I mean, if you have other ideas, your report can have name of customers, item bought. Okay, let's just have item bought, so it doesn't look insert. We have item bought. We could have item bought. I could start to reduce this a little. So let's say she bought. Let's say. Let's use but let's say she bought, let's say, what should I use here now? Let's say he bought, let's say, okay. So let's just leave this open. Let's say she bought some bottles of, I don't know, what should I use? What should I use? What should I use? What should I use? So I don't know. You all can just help me. Paint. Someone says paint. Someone says paint. So let's say paint. Let's say she bought 10 rubbers of paint. 10. Now let's say Abayomi bought. Let's say he bought. Let's say I don't know.
Bags.
Okay. He bought some bags. Now this is like a very simple Excel sheet. It's very, very simple stuff. Let us use one more. Let's say Alice. Let's say she bought, let's say so let's just use
Shoes.
okay, thank you. Let's say she bought 10, one for 5,000 naira. You can see the value. It's you don't need to because we've already done the formula and all of that. We've made it look that way. What else again? 18th of, so let's just stop at this. So I know this should be October. Let's see. Usman Haji. Let's say he bought like 2 or 5 big cups. We say one is 1,000 naira. Now, this basically shows the total price of each of these things that this woman actually got. I mean, what the sales report for ABC Limited. Now, remember the main stuff we are looking at doing here is to look at how to analyze this data. We haven't actually done any analysis yet. We are just preparing the data. What I would have done, basically, what we are currently doing now is this phase whereby we are looking at extracting or transforming data. Now, if we had this data somewhere, we would have just extracted and transformed it. But now what we are doing is just to form the data. So we haven't actually done anything yet. But then we need to leave now and return very soon. Well, we are going to return by 9 o'clock, by 21:00. By 9 o'clock we are returning. and then when we return, we would continue. And I think we can take Shika's and Shika George's questions. I think his answers. I mean, he has like I think he would like to ask some questions, but then we can't do that now. We need to leave now, and then once we resume, then we can take the question and continue. So let's leave now. Thank you so much.